Hi, everybody. I hope you could hear the wonderful intro here, the video. I couldn't hear it myself because I think we are having some issues with the internet. But anyway, we are here with you. Hopefully not freezing in front of you, right? So,
Yes.
welcome everyone, and to my brilliant, precious, best, most unique in the entire cosmos uh, co-host and precious sister, Corinne Mooney, all the way from Mesa, Arizona, and myself, Anne, from Rhodes in Greece today. Tonight here, because we have an evening here, but it's your AM still, right?
Yes.
Where you are
Yes.
at. So, welcome, luminous souls, to the Cosmic Sister Show with Anne and Corinne. In this radiant episode, we dive deep into the paradox pulsing through the collective heart. Everybody wants change, but very few want to change. Step into your shimmering soul space where transformation, I can't talk today, isn't a demand, it's a gentle invitation. Here, change isn't something to chase, it's something to embody. Anne and Corinne open the portal to explore the illusion that keep us circling the same patterns and the courage it takes to truly shift from within. With
Mhm.
humor, compassion, and multidimensional clarity, we will journey through the mirages of the mind, unmask the stories that no longer serve, and illuminate the path to emotional sovereignty. Take a breath, settle in. The frequency is rising, and you're right on time. Welcome. And today we have Wednesday, April 8th in US and Europe, and our future Australia, Thursday, April 9th. And again, we will talk about everybody wants change, but very few want to change. Our last show on Cosmic Sister Show was last Wednesday, April 1st, and we talked about illusions of the mind, unmasking the world of illusions. So I think that this is kind of a continuing thing today
Mhm.
because we talk about change. We do go live on YouTube every week at youtube.com/ at Cosmic Guardians 111 slash streams and youtube.com/ at Angel Place on Earth slash streams. And we stream the replay after the show at facebook.com/ Cosmic Guardians. So here we are. Let's dive into today's show. Deep
Oh.
dive.
It's such an interesting subject because change has always been at the center and the rhythm of everything. Maybe change happens in the 9 months from the moment of conception when life begins anew, or maybe it takes millions and millions of years as Gaia becomes the place we now lovingly call home. The atoms themselves in the universe are in constant change, seeking to recreate themselves and have new adventures. Oh, us too. As curious humans, change has always been the driving force for all of human existence. I mean, can you imagine? Caveman comes along and sees a tree broken and squats down and sits on it. Ooh, better than sitting on the ground. I'm going to invent a chair. Oh, fire makes food taste better. Let's control it. We're always in that motion of change. And if you don't believe it, look at the picture of me on our little thing that comes on the front and look at me now. I've changed. you know? And the beauty of the human body is that we really don't have any control over the change. We just change spontaneously. Yes, we eat right, we exercise, but we still do not have control over change. And yet we are adamantly resistant to what? Changing our mind.
Exactly. And change is one of the most intriguing invitations we receive in this human experience. It calls us from the future, from the soul, from the quiet inner knowing that whispers, there is more for you. There is more of you. There is a wider horizon waiting to be lived. There is a deeper truth waiting to be embodied. And I think change is one of the most frequent thing I talk to people who are calling me, right? When I'm doing the intuitive work, so to speak.
Hmm.
Many people realize that I want change. Many have come to some sort of middle way where they realize that they need to change something, but also the rest of them they don't want to make any kind of change, but they want life to change, if that
Uh-huh.
makes sense. And
Yep.
that's not going to happen. It doesn't mean that we always need to do big changes, because that can also feel challenging, right? Sometimes we are, probably because of previous choices we made, we are
Hmm.
coming into a place where we feel cornered. So there's not any space anymore. I need to make it a choice. And that's going to bring about change. That's scary. Oh, that's scary, right? But
Yes.
but if we think of it in this way, usually when we are put into that corner, we had the opportunity, usually for a number of years, to make those changes. But we
Hmm.
didn't want to make them because we stepped into fear.
Yes.
I know what I have. I want change, but I'm too frightened to make even the smallest change because I know where I am right
Yes.
now.
And familiar makes you feel safe and secure. Um, and another thing that we have a tendency to do, we always expect someone else to change to come to our way of thinking. And thinking is just a process, and it's an involvement of exchanging ideas. And when we the old adage that you Einstein said this, many people have, but I remember his quote where he said, we keep doing the same thing and expect a different result. um, like you keep bumping into the tree that's there, or something
Yeah.
that's there. I have someone that helps me, and he'll always put things in the way and then have to walk around them. And I said, why don't you move those other? I didn't think of it. But he, when you keep doing the same thing over and over and you expect to change, I think what we're doing is we're expecting other people to change. But
Yes.
we only have the ability to change our thoughts, our perceptions, and until we change our mind, change will not come. And
No.
other than the physical body just keeps changing without asking permission. You know,
Exactly. Exactly.
it's
So
like,
we just have to deal with that, right? But
yes, we just adjust to it. You know, bless it, thank it,
yeah,
and be grateful that we can make a change.
yeah. There are many who wants the other person to change because, doing things in the way that they assume is the correct way,
Hmm.
and having opinions and ideas about how things should be instead of being open. And if we think of change as energy, it becomes a little bit easier somehow, because when we want to make a change, if we are refusing to change just a little bit. It may actually be as simple as I know that my thoughts are going in one direction about a certain situation, but now I'm going to be practice awareness and I'm going to catch myself and I'm going to change my mindset a little bit about
Yeah.
that thing. If it's only one thing, you can see it as not a huge step, but awareness also about something, right?
Yes.
And that can bring about change because we can't, if the energies are continuously being the same and our frequency and vibration, how can we expect change to occur?
Yes. And we are gentle with making change when it comes to, oh, I'm going to change the house I'm living in. I'm going to change the furniture I have around me. I'm going to buy a new car because I like this one better. These are all changes, but when it comes to the stubbornness within us, like uh, uh, I remember when this happened to me, and I'm going to hold on to it, and I'm not going to let go of it. And anytime I come into a situation like this, it's going to end up the same way, and I'm not going to change. Everyone else, we become immovable and immovable when it comes to an emotional charge. And this is the change that we are asking ourselves to gently re-examine. If it doesn't fit, then find a way to adjust it so it fits better. And
Exactly.
not throw out everything and go, well, we're just going to clean everything out and start from the beginning. No, we look at the situation and say, like this morning, I was out playing in my garden, and the way that the bricks were laid, it just didn't feel right. So I went and I started gently, I didn't tear the whole thing down. I just took that one corner and moved a couple of bricks. Then I looked at it. It felt a little better. And I moved it a little bit more. It felt a little better. And as you were saying, to gently be awakened by these whispers
Yeah.
and not go into oh, what do I got to do? No, just gently, gently.
And we have a tendency to cling to the familiar, you
Oh,
know,
yes.
what what we have experienced and know about in a conscious way, in a humanly conscious way. That is what we identify with, and that is what we think we can manage. So, to make a change and specifically walking this path, I call it the spiritual path, growing yourself, connecting with your soul,
Yes.
um, clearing away stuff that don't belong to you, right? All of those things. But we cannot expand either without stepping outside of what we think we perceive and already know. That
Yes.
is, it's, when we say everybody wants change, but very few want to change, not because people are unwilling or unspiritual or unaware, but because change asks for a level of inner honesty that can feel very vulnerable. It
Yep.
asks us to meet ourselves without filters. It asks us to let go of patterns that once protected us. It asks us to step into a version of ourselves that we have not yet fully met. It's unknown, and we cannot have control over it, right?
Exactly. And I think it is very humorous that we as humans think that we can control change. I mean, if you've ever been in an earthquake or seen the ravages of a tsunami or a volcano, um, the earth is making her changes, and you just kind of sort of got to get out of the way and accept them, because it's going to change. And standing there and saying, I'm not going to change, I'm going to stay right here and I don't care, the audacity of and fear. The fear
Yeah.
causes that clinging to something that worked, and it may not have worked completely, but it worked a little bit. It
Yeah.
at least we didn't fall into the hole. We were able to just stand on the side of the hole. And but when we gently allow these things to soften our perspective, and we realize that the only change that can happen is within ourselves. I can't change a person's opinion. I don't choose to. I've got enough opinions of my own that I need to be working on.
Yeah.
And but it's beautiful to allow for the possibility that that you can make a change.
Everybody can make changes, and to be honest, we make changes all the time, but we don't pay attention to them. But the change we're
Right.
talking about is the inner one, and change is not an eternal event. It is an eternal permission to slip. It is the moment we say yes to the unknown, that which we cannot control. It is the moment we choose growth over comfort. It is the moment we stop negotiating with our own expansion. It is the moment we realize that the life we desire requires a frequency we have not yet consistently embodied, right?
Exactly.
So the
Exactly.
truth is that change is not difficult. What feels difficult is the release of the familiar identity, the familiar
Yes.
story, the familiar emotional landscape. Even when the familiar is painful, it is known. And the known can feel safer than the possibility of something new, even if we want the new.
Yeah. And we've talked a lot about self mastery, finding our authentic self. And when you find your authentic self, your sovereignty, learning to trust yourself. And when you do that, you can more gently let go. Um, I love to bring in science along with everything else. And Joe Dispenza has spent his career now showing that change can happen and bring magnificent results. Um, we can change that old paradigm. We can change. Uh, I've inherited this disease, and so I'm going to die of this disease. We can move beyond that, because beyond our limited thinking is this field where all this magic happens. And through science, he proves how changing your mind will change your life. Um,
Yes.
and all the doctors and the research that is done when these people literally say, enough is enough. I was working with a client, and every week it was kind of the same story, the same stuff, the same trauma that she couldn't quite get rid of. And then one day she came in and she said, enough is enough. Somewhere, something happened where she connected and she changed her mind, and that situation was no longer going to be acceptable. And after that, she started changing herself, and the situation around her began to change.
Yeah, because she changed her inner world, her frequency and energy. So
Yes,
what happens on the outside, reality has to mirror our inside. That's what happens, right?
yes, yes,
So our soul does not thrive in stagnation. Our
Huh.
soul thrives in movement, in expansion, in the gentle unfolding of new layers of truth. The soul thrives when we allow ourselves to grow beyond the edges of who we have been. And change begins the moment we stop waiting for life to shift life outside and
Yes.
start shifting from within. It begins when we ask ourselves, where am I still choosing the old version of me, even though my soul is calling me into the new one?
Yes. And again, going back to people that are stuck in a situation. During my massage career, I would go into corporate buildings, walk in dressed in a suit, look like I was a business person, walk into the conference room, take out a little tape recorder and set it up so I could do a chair massage for the people. And especially in great big corporate companies, they would the people would be talking to me and saying, this job is killing me. I really need to change this job. And literally the environment, the frequency and the energy there literally was causing physical things to transpire in the body. And every once in a while, after working with a person for several times, and their frequencies began to change, and they'd say, I was not looking for a new job, but I have found one, so I'm not going to be here like next week, because they had finally allowed their souls to be open to the possibility that there was something that they could be doing that would bring peace and bring the income and allow them to thrive instead of being in this compressed thing.
Yeah,
But they began changing their frequency, changing the vibrations, and then the mind changed.
yeah, it does. And it feels always like a miracle, right?
Mhm.
So, with this, change does not require a dramatic leap. It requires a sincere willingness. And if you are stubborn like I am, that is handy when it comes to moving through things, right?
Yes,
A willingness to feel what arises, a willingness to release what no longer resonates, a willingness to trust the unfolding and not holding on to, I want to know exactly in detail what's going to be, because you're not going to know that until you arrived, right? A
exactly.
willingness to let the old identity dissolve so the true self can emerge. And perhaps the most beautiful truth is this: when one person chooses to change from within, the collective field shifts. When
Yes,
one person chooses authenticity, the frequency of the whole rises. When one person chooses truth, clarity ripples outwards. It's contagious. When one person chooses love, the world becomes more harmonious.
yes, yes. I mean, our ancient ancestors and even current ancestors, especially because I'm more familiar with Hawaii. That's why I refer to it more than other places. I'm not that well traveled, um, but in in their culture, they have the Ho'oponopono, and they realized that if there was discord among two people, it caused the weather patterns to change. It disrupted everything. So the elders would sit down with them and say, let us find a way that you don't have to agree with this one and you don't have to agree with that one, but let's find a way that we can find a peace so we can bring harmony back to everybody. And this is the same when we change our mind and say, we're going to start moving in this direction. Gradually, it starts feeling better to the people around us, and they go, "Oh, I like that
Yeah,
feeling. How do I
yeah.
get that for myself?" And it it
In
just cries, yeah,
yeah, in other words, like many said, okay, she or he has something. I want what they have, right? Without being able sometimes to put it into words, right?
yes,
So personal transformation is never just personal, it's a contribution to the collective awakening. It is because we are all connected.
yes,
The new version of yourself is not something you need to chase. It is something you allow. That is your favorite word, I know.
my favorite word.
It is,
Yes,
it's something you welcome. It's something you breathe into existence through presence, honesty, and self-compassion. Don't
yeah,
forget to be compassionate about yourself. And here's something else. We are not here to repeat old cycles. We are not here to, we are here to evolve beyond them. We are here to embody the frequency of the future we desire. We are here to be the living expression of the change we wish to see,
yep.
right?
And that very definitely is the definition of personal change. Um,
Yeah,
when you find your authenticity and your self love and realize that you're no longer going to be able to live in a situation where these are being uh, disregarded. And you don't go out there screaming and hollering, "I'm changing, get out of my way," and everything else. Because you love yourself, the change happens and then it radiates out, and people they see your enthusiasm, they see your the glow about you, they see joy, they watch your movements as they become uh, gentle. Because when we start doing this, we release all of the ideas that we had that were holding us. We release the trauma and the doubt and the indecision, because we are now allowing ourselves
yeah.
to be in love, and to allow that love to be. Um, and I'm working on a new word for love, because love gets overused, abused. That's why I say, when I really am close to someone, I see you, because you love what you're eating, you love this, you love that. So there's and I'm reaching to you, my beautiful uh, Greek interpreter. I know in Greek there are many different words. There's a love for friend, a love for family, a love for this, and we're it's got to be a word that we invent for a love for the universe and a love for humanity. So we'll just make one.
Love, love in Greek is agape.
Uh huh.
When I tell you I love you, s agapo, se agapo.
Uh huh.
Um, if I would say for a third person, I would say ton agapo. Am I in sorry, speaking Greek now. I have to switch to English. It happens to me. But that means I love him. Uh, tin agapo, I love her. So it's you have to kind of
Change.
combine it. It's the grammar is yeah, it's a little bit
But there's
challenging, but
but there's a
everyone.
love. There's a love of a brother. There's a love of a mother. And it's described differently because the love that we feel, like the love that I feel for humanity, the love that I feel for nature, these it's beyond the word love.
Yes.
It's bigger than, and and when you start having that kind of awareness, you realize that if this particular thing needs to be renovated, changed to allow you to have that, it becomes easier to change. And
Yeah.
yes, you are moving out of the familiar, you're just creating a new familiar.
And now I'm going to honor you. I see you. I hear you. I love you. I appreciate you. Sayapo.
Sayapo.
Sagapo.
Ah, yes, yes. Words, the vibration of words are just so amazing, you
They
know.
are amazing. And, speaking of change, I made many changes in my life. Um, and I'm so grateful to my upbringing. Yeah, I had some, I had a few challenges in my
Oh,
life
yeah.
from early age, but I think also they shaped me, and I came into this world with a great stubbornness. You call it being tenacious, right? And sometimes I can be very, very handy. But what I was given when I was under 8, I was given a lot of confidence in myself. So I
Yes.
always had this knowing that whatever is going to come into my life, or whatever situation I'm going to be in, one day that situation is going to be a memory. And when I had my challenges, worst days, so to speak, and I wanted change, and I said, one day, this day, this moment, this very moment is going to be only a memory. And I leave it behind me. So I'm progressing, I'm proceeding forward,
Yes.
stubbornly proceeding forward.
Absolutely. Determined,
Yes.
focused.
Focus.
These all could be mistranslated as being stubborn, but it is what takes it to the next level. And when we speak of change being gentle, also, I mean, when a little bit of water starts to flow, and it opens up an opening in the earth, and then the next time it rains a little bit more and a little bit more, that's called the Grand Canyon. That happened over time. The water just flowed, and then it flowed, and then it flowed, and pretty soon it created, this beautiful canyon. This is how change happens. It starts very subtly. It's not like you wake up the next morning and go, "Wow, I'm going to completely change everything." I mean, I'm sure there are people that do that, and it doesn't always work out very well that way. But it happens gradually. It's like this just doesn't fit me anymore. It's like outgrowing clothing, or outgrowing uh, an idea that I have to always be at a family function, whether I really want to be there or not, because I'm obligated. It's tradition. It's this. It's this. It's this. And maybe you get sick, and then you feel bad because you're not doing what is expected of you, and then you hear from your relatives saying you didn't show up. Well, I was sick. Well, that's no excuse. So what I'm saying is that if this isn't feeling well, find a way to be able to honor the situation in your own perspective.
Exactly. And that is also being your authentic self.
Yes,
It doesn't mean putting on an attitude for things, but
exactly.
being true. The soul, in my way of seeing it, in my experience, is that it's less complicated because the soul doesn't have all these conventions we have. I call it conventions, right? You have to
Yep.
do assumptions, all of the things that come from this world.
Yeah.
And a lot of people think that if I buy the best house, the best car, the most expensive clothing, they still feel empty inside because none of that can fill the void within if we have a void, right?
Yes.
So we need to find that inner essence, that inner diamond. And if it feels messy or it doesn't feel clear, we can clear that. And everybody can do that. We are always supported on this path, always. You could see that in different ways. There are different ways of, if there are entities out there helping us, it can be, we call them angels, we call them family members, loved ones who transitioned over, you name it. But we also have our higher self or the soul, and there's many different names for that one too, right? But it's as we call it, cosmic beings, because we are cosmic beings and we are never ever alone, right? We don't need to feel alone, and working on the things that triggers us are a real true key. Because if I'm triggered by making the change, it means that I'm resistant to the
Ah,
change,
perfect.
meaning that I'm going to hold on to that resistance and that feeling of being stuck for a way longer time than if I embrace and gather a little bit of courage, just a little tiny bit of courage,
Yes. Yes.
and not wanting to control, because the moment I step into control, that's still some sort of resistance because I want to shape the outcome in detail. We want to shape the outcome, but we don't want to do it with all the details of this world because that's not going to bring about what we want, right? Does
Yes.
that make sense?
Makes sense. And what you were saying brought up a story when I was working with this person that was supposed to be. She claimed that she was on this uh, journey, her spiritual awakening, and I started working with energy around her. Now, I don't do anything to them. I just provide the energy. But the energy, she said, I want to change. I want to make things. That is how she started the session. And so the energy says, okay, we're going to help you make that. And all of a sudden she opens her eyes and says, stop that. And I said, stop what? She says, well, turn it off. She says, I'm not going to let go of that. And she literally told me that she was not going to, she wanted change, but she was not going to let go of that particular thing. And I just, to myself, I smiled and said, well, um, we'll just have a happy sit here together because she's just turned off all availability to make that change. But that was her choice. But how
Yeah.
stubbornly I remembered that, and I had forgotten that story. And oh, she was just, no, I don't want to change. I'm going to hold on to that particular thing. And I thought, well, that particular thing is making you hold on to everything else. And if that's what you want, you go for it. But it was
Yeah.
very humorous. Yes.
It is humorous sometimes, but it can also feel very scary for someone,
Yes.
letting go, because it's a part of letting go of things, the
Uh-huh.
everything we know, and how we should actually be able to move forward without making that change. But I met a few or talked to many people actually. They say, okay, I want to hear what you see, but I don't want to change anything about myself because I feel that I'm perfect. Everything is
Ab-
perfect, but I want this and this and this and this and this. Um,
exactly.
yeah,
Yes. Well, um, yeah.
Good, good luck with that one, right?
Good luck. Um, True. Oh, wow. Well, I'm
And
willing to make some changes.
you will get. I think you're up for some questions, aren't you? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of feeling that coming on. But talk about personal change. I mean, uh, I literally had to change knees. I got a new knee, and it's wonderful. Uh, I have decided that instead of resisting the change, I'll work with it. I'll find different ways of being magnificent with the change that has happened instead of fighting the change and saying, no, I'm not going to do that. Nobody's going to. I go, okay, let us find an agreeable hoponopono where I can live
Yeah.
with the change and then I can adjust to it and then I can become better. I'm not going to be diminished by the change. I'm going to embrace it and find out how I can then again be at the top of my game
Yeah.
and
Exactly.
accept the change. And yes, it's sometimes it gets real
You know,
personal.
it does, and we are living in times when there are some crazy changes also going on, right?
Yeah.
Globally, all over the
Yes.
place. For a few years, we experienced a world we didn't really recognize, but everything is not in our own personal hands. So the only thing that remains sometimes is my response. Exactly what you talked about. How am
Yeah.
I going to respond to those things? Am I going to fight them? Yeah, good luck with that, because you can spend a lifetime fighting things, or you can
Yes.
go along with it and you can, of course, sometimes we need to take a stand for things. That's different, right?
Yes.
But we always have our personal power in the way we respond to things.
The way we
Am I
respond.
going to, yeah, am I going to pick and choose and step into each and every thing that's coming my way, or am I picking what I'm going to step into? That's one way of doing it too,
Uh-huh.
because we don't really need to take on everything that's coming. And also, and you said this before, remember that working on yourself, it's never ever a quick fix. It's a process,
It is.
but it's also a catalyst for the greatest changes for the future, right? Without me saying, if I would say stubbornly, I refuse to change anything about me, but I want my environment, my reality to change.
Yes.
That's not going to happen, is it?
No. No.
No.
And as people will go out sometimes and oh, it's dark, I can't see. And somebody lights a candle, and somebody else lights a candle, and somebody else lights a candle, and the darkness becomes light. And this is what it is, but it starts with your light and what you do. And are you going to be asking me questions about change today? Is that what's coming up?
I was planning that. See how I'm rubbing my hands? I'm just
I can't
joking.
change your mind on that. I'm going to have to adapt to the questions. Okay.
So we always love to have five simple and clear questions, right? And maybe there's questionable if they are really simple or not. But anyway, we always have five questions that flow beautifully with the theme of the current show we are talking about. These questions are also offered to you all, listening and watching, as gentle reflections to explore within yourselves. And I feel that this is really important. What is
Yes.
the question? triggering within you? What's your answer?
Yes.
So, first question, Miss Corrine, beautiful Corrine. What does change mean to you on a soul level?
Oh, it means opportunity. It means the ability to re-examine and move out of stagnation, to bring life, back to what may have been not moving forward. So I look at change like really opportunities, not challenges, but opportunities to find a different path. I hate to use this, but to change my mind about things and see if that works better for me. And this, and
Yeah.
yes, change is something that I guess because I'm always in motion, change is something that uh, is part of me. I embrace it.
Yeah. I embrace it too. And for me, change is, I would say the word possibilities, but it's the same, it's a different word, but the same meaning that, as you
Yeah.
said. And I love change, but I also love to have my routine sometimes. And I do travel a lot, and
Yes.
I feel to it that I need to adjust. It takes me a week each and every time to adjust,
Yeah.
because there are uh, the way of living that it feels nice to have some routine sometimes. But I'm
Yeah.
very adaptable, and change is not hard for me. And I don't feel that need also to hold on to the outcome because I know, sorry, my nose is itching me. I know that I will always land on my 2 feet. I know that
Yeah.
because I've gone through so many changes also, but it means a lot. And I would not like to feel that I would be stagnant. And I've been through periods of that too. I remember a time, and I call it like being at the dark night of the soul. Um, it took 2.5 years, and I couldn't for my life understand why, uh, with the knowledge I have and wisdom coming in and guidance and everything, how I could be stuck. But it happens, right? But
Yeah. Yeah.
but but a part of me was came into that place of resistance. So that's why we talk about resistance. So if you are in resistance, try to work on that part then, to embrace change. And change, the beautiful thing with change is it always comes with new possibilities for new choices
Yeah.
and therefore new consequences. How wonderful is that? We tend to think about consequences as something negative. No, it's not. It's just a word. But there's a choice and something comes about from that choice. Choose you, right?
Yes.
So, second question. Can you recall a moment when you truly choose to change, not just wished for it?
Um, there's been many times in my life where I actually um, knew and said, I've got to change. I mean, it's either change or not survive. And one of those was when I was facing a divorce after 23 years. One of those was when my son died. How am I going to handle this? Um, how am I going to make the change necessary to get everyone through this situation? Um, change when I decided that where my life was going was not giving my soul satisfaction. And I decided that I was going to become a Reiki master teacher. I can remember the moment it happened, not just follow this or do this, but there was this energy that came around me, and and literally, I physically saw this. I was working on a client, and I was trying to make a decision on going into one field of work or another. And at the foot of the table where she was laying, this vision came to me. It was just a bright light, and in the bright light, it said, "The change you seek is working with energy." And I knew then that my journey was to become a Reiki master teacher, which was a 5-year journey because I did it the traditional way. But I can remember that vividly. And I chose to change.
Yes. Yeah. Because it is a choice when we
Yes,
come down to the basics, right? It is truly a
yes.
choice. Yeah, I've done a lot of changes from childhood up until this point in my life, and I don't fear them. I don't fear them. Um, Third question. What inner stories or illusions might be keeping you from stepping into transformation?
Mm. Well, the stories that really were profound was uh, that I wasn't good enough. I didn't I didn't have that support that I could do it. I can. I had to develop that myself. But everybody loved me so much they didn't want me to get hurt. So they would say, "Well, don't do that because it's going to take a lot of education. Don't do that because it's a real hard profession. Don't do that." And so I was hearing all of these things. And when I grew up and made a change, and I did do those things, man, I just wanted to go and stand in front of these people and said, "I did it. I did it." But I think I know that's what cr- helped create my ability to make changes now, was
Yeah,
that I had to
I
work
have a
so
few.
hard.
I haven't really been questioned, as I said, right? But I have,
Yeah.
of course, sometimes people have their opinions about things. And I remember a funny story. It's a very practical one. Uh, 94, 93, 94, 1993, 94. And I wanted to buy a computer, those old thick ones, right?
Yes.
And my husband said to me, what are you going to do with that? You're not going to be able to do anything with that. And that was so many years ago. And I reminded him around a year ago. And actually, he said, oh, did I say that? Because my take on that was give it to me, and I'm going to um, get it to function for me. I'm going to understand. I'm going to dig into it, really. And
Yeah.
I did, right? See how
Oh,
funny things are. And
yes.
that also takes a little bit of stubbornness because what happened was we got the computer, and I was in charge, of course. He didn't want to touch it. And I didn't know anything. Didn't see a computer in my life until that point. And after a week, the hard drive cracked. So, of course, you have the insurance and things, right? So they came and they changed it. But the thing was, when I started the computer, it didn't look the same. So I had to dig in and understand what am I going to do now? How am I going to navigate this thing? Because he had a very handy help program, but that wasn't on. It wasn't up there when they changed the hard drive, even though it was in the system. But I didn't know. I didn't know where to look, files,
Oh,
stuff of that nature. So that was
yes.
a nice experience. But I did it.
And
So
thank goodness you did, or we wouldn't be talking right now.
it's very handy to be tenacious.
Yes, yes.
So how do you respond when life nudges you toward growth that feels uncomfortable?
Oh, like all these questions you're asking me. Well, I squirm a lot. I wiggle, and then I realize that the possibilities of moving deeper within and discovering more things, they're worth they're worth the effort. Um, I mean, I never flew to the moon. I never, went deep sea diving. I never delved into chemistry or other things. However, I have that curiosity about a lot of things, and this gives me opportunity to step out of my comfort zone, my familiar, and try something on. Let's see if the
Yeah,
red shoes look good on with the purple dress. Who knows? I mean, it might be what I want. So yeah.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I can be a little bit intense sometimes. So yeah, I may actually not only respond, I may react and I may say a few words or something, right?
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
but then
Yep.
I let it out of my system, and then I just relax and I just take it on.
Yeah.
Um, because there's for me, there's always a reason why things tend to pop up or come back, or if you experience something that feels challenging. And hey, I've sent to the universe so many times, a billion times probably. I'm here. I'm willing to grow. My
Oh
intention
yeah.
is to understand and to dig within, know who I am. So yeah, those things are going to come because no matter what everybody thinks, everyone in this field, it doesn't mean that we are without challenges, right? Or that
That's
we
right.
won't feel uncomfortable. So just go for it.
Yeah. Well, I got a little wiser in my old age and didn't say, okay, give it to me. I'm ready. I now negotiate and I say, just give it to me in increments that I can handle. You don't need to hit me over the head
Good.
with a 2x4. Just let me stub my toe and then I'll get the message and then I can work from there. So I have an agreement that just give it to me in little pieces. And I mean, I was grateful when my house burned down because I now have my healing center, and that was a pretty big one. But let's just do it in little pieces, and so
In 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 the old days, I got things because I got them many times, and I didn't show that I listened. I noticed, but I didn't say anything or take action or do anything, right? So
right.
as a joke, I say that I was hit with a frying pan in the end, right? Because I
That's
didn't
right. Yeah,
answer.
we
But
get bonged a lot.
yeah, but at this time in my life, I say, okay, yes or no, or I'm going to taste this, how it feels, right? I'm going to try it, and then I may decide. So three things. So I'm not getting hit with a frying pan any longer.
Yeah. Whew.
That was intense, right? And
Yeah.
as always, we have been walking our talk because that's what we do, right? So a lot of changes, but
Yeah.
we have labels in this world for everything. We label everything, and we label it is going to be something positive or it's going to be something negative. But what
Right.
if things just occur? They
Yes.
happen. Because if we think of this reality as not our real home, it's not in my perception, it's not this is not home. It's like when we take a trip somewhere. go traveling for a
Yeah.
period. But the thing is, while we're here, for us, it's a lifetime. So we feel that it's a very, very long time, right? But this is not the true reality, is
That's
it?
true. That's true. Kind of like it's an illusion.
A little bit, yes. So
Yes,
playground, a playground. So we come
a
here to
playground. Yes.
experience things. What do you say, my beautiful sister?
Well, it seems to me that I feel that I've been really warmed up here, and okay. Always we can talk about this, and the universe so lovingly allows us to, down the line, be talking about something similar to just get a little bit more of the perspective of what we did. So I think we can bless this and say that we've done the best we could do today, and then the next time that we have the opportunity to be bringing this into our reality, I think we'll just add a little more. But
Yes. And yeah, so we say a few more things and we wrap it up a little bit.
yes,
Here we go. You can find upcoming and past episodes at youtube.com/ at Cosmic Guardians 111 slash streams, youtube.com/ at Angel Place on Earth slash streams, and also the live section on YouTube, of course. And you can also find upcoming and past episodes at angelplaceonearth.com/ upcoming dash past. Connect with us, both of us, read articles, find out more about Miss Karina and myself, and other things we have on that place at angelplaceonearth.com/ cosmic guardians. And you can find Corinne Mooney. You will find all her stuff on the first page I mentioned, but you can also find her at liquidenergyhealing.com. And we did the last year a few series. We made the Four Agreements and we made the Celestial Prophecy. You can find our series at angelplaceonearth.com/series-cosmic-guardians.
yes.
Why all the dashes? I don't know.
They're pretty.
So, our next upcoming show on Cosmic Guardians and Cosmic Sis-Stars with Miss Karina and myself is next Wednesday, April 15th. Oh, we are in springtime for sure.
Yep.
And we talk about something you really love. What is the cosmic couple?
Oh, wow. Yeah. Yeah, that's yes, thank you.
We've been chewing on that topic for a while, and it's a really intriguing one, I think.
Yes. Yes.
So we do go live for you every Wednesday in US and Europe and every Thursday in our future Australia. So today's affirmation, do you want me to read it or do you want to
Oh
read it?
no, I would love to read these. I love reading your words. I welcome change as a sacred invitation to become more of who I truly am. I release resistance with compassion. I choose transformation with courage. And I honor the journey inward as the path to radiant expansion, and expression.
Expression. And expression, yes. Oh, thank you. You read beautifully. So, everybody, as we close this Cosmic Sisters journey for today, may the mirrors you have met tonight reflect tonight or today. Someone in the chat, hi, welcome. We are towards the end anyway. And again, I take it again. As we close this Cosmic Sisters journey, may the mirrors you have met tonight reflect not judgment, but gentle truth. May the longing for change soften into willingness to transform, and may every illusion that dissolved make space for your soul's clarity to rise. You are not alone in this unfolding. You are held, witnessed, and deeply honored for every step you take toward becoming the change you seek. Until next time, keep walking with wonder, keep choosing with courage, and keep listening to the quiet wisdom within. With infinite love, peace, and joy, we see you, we hear you, we honor you, we love you, we appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you so much, everybody. And someone wants a StreamYard link. Um, I can't grab that right now, but okay, is it this one is referral you are wanting? I think we can put that on now. Yes, okay.
Yes.
And yeah, thank you everybody. And namaste. Ho'oponopono.
Ho'oponopono. And love beyond the word.
Love beyond the word. Thank you.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye bye.